This person asks, how should a Muslim approach a relationship with a non-Muslim family member?
By non-Muslim, do you mean murtad, or do you mean this Muslim converted and their family's default non-Muslim? There's a difference between the two.
The question didn't specify.
وما أرسلنا من قبلك إلا رجالا نوحي إليهم فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون.
Okay, so the reason why there's a difference is because with regards to somebody who has left Islam, obviously there's a bit of a tension there, and that tension cannot be ignored. When a close family member was a Muslim and then chooses to leave the faith, that does complicate things. Now, I'm not saying you have to boycott or cut off all ties, but definitely the frustration needs to be there throughout one's relationship, that there's got to be the sense of, I'm sad that this has happened. Whereas that level does not need to exist for the one who is obviously was never a Muslim, but the notion of giving da'wah to them will remain. So how does one treat family members who are non-Muslim? The Quran is very clear. لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم. That the Quran is very clear that Allah is saying that you are allowed to have the highest level of closeness, which is called birr, and you're also allowed to have the lowest level, which is just to be fair to them. As long as they are not enemies to you and stopping you from your faith, you're allowed this entire spectrum. How you choose to deal with them, it depends on you. So if a person converts and their mother is a non-Muslim, they should maintain the ties of birr, the highest level, because they're the mother. And if it's some family member, distant family member, you can just be nice to them and just exchange pleasantries and whatnot. There's no different rulings. I know that there is a strand of modern Sunnism. Unfortunately, they preach some things that are very bizarre. They think they say that you should hate non-Muslims and whatnot, and that's simply not true. The Prophet ﷺ loved his uncle Abu Talib, even though his uncle passed away a pagan, and the Quran affirms that love. The Quran uses the word love. The Prophet ﷺ had love for Abu Talib, right? إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ. The hub is affirmed of Abu Talib, and yet Abu Talib died as a pagan. So this notion of we have to hate the kuffars, I mean, this is a fancy slogan that a very small group of modern one group, they have this theological notion, and frankly even they themselves cannot implement it, because it is not natural to hate people that have done no wrong to you. You can't just walk around and your heart is full of hatred for somebody else unless you have a pathological disease or problem. So even these people who preach it, they cannot follow it. They just say it as a slogan. So if that's what you're referring to, then that's an incorrect theology, and it needs to be refuted. Islam does not teach us to hate other people. Islam does teach us to dislike actual kufr and shirk, yes, but not the people. There's a difference, right? We don't like the concept of other than Allah being worshipped. And if somebody is a non-Muslim, then we love the good in them, and we don't like the fact that they're worshipping other than Allah. But nowhere in the Quran and Sunnah does it tell us that we hate the entire individual just because they're not a part of our faith. That is a misinterpretation that, yes, it is taught. I'm not denying it is taught, but it is not mainstream beliefs of Islam, and Allah knows best.
يا من أجبت دعاء نوح فانتصر وحملته في فلكك المشحون يا من أحال النار حول خليله روحا وريحانا بقولك كن